Dear friends, I love the Hebrew Bible. However, I have reached a point where I can no longer defend its indefensible aspects and attitudes. Throughout my adult life as a theologian and pastor, I have dedicated myself to defending the Hebrew Bible against accusations of savagery, brutality, and barbarism. I am well phrased in its ancient cultural context, its history and archaeology. And thus, I am well able to demonstrate that many of those mass atrocities and barbaric acts depicted in the Bible never actually happened. For example, the book of Joshua is widely understood by scholars to be ahistorical. It's more akin to a wishful thinking. The tales of the Canaanites, Hittites, Hivites, Perizzites, Girgashites, Amorites, and Jebusites being put to the sword and their cities pillaged and burned are in reality fabrications. There is strong evidence to suggest that the Israelites and Judahites never truly occupied the Holy Land because they were, in fact, part of the indigenous Canaanite population. And thus, many of the brutalities depicted in the Hebrew Bible were likely later literary creations, mythical stories spun by oppressed people seeking to bolster their sense of identity and worth and dealing with their inferiority complexes. This might be known in academic circles. It is deeply troubling to witness modern political leaders and military officers of the State of Israel invoking these ancient passages as directives for contemporary actions. And even more troubling is to see foot soldiers and settlers carrying out acts of destruction and violence while gleefully dancing on the ruins of Gaza and literally evoking those mythical atrocities. They might be ahistorical in the Bible, but they are becoming reality before our very eyes. Regardless of the historical inaccuracy of these biblical accounts, they are being weaponized and perpetrated in our own days. This is an appalling reality that cannot be defended and must be vehemently opposed. And thus, I can no longer condone biblical gratuitous violence in the service of religious and nationalistic agendas, ancient or current. In the Bible, there are true satanic verses, and not only verses, but whole chapters and even entire books like Joshua. And that is a sad thing. Some might not like to hear about the Bible. Yet, I still love the Hebrew Bible, especially its oldest and most primal stories, those fragments of religion and spirituality inherited from those very Canaanites, Hittites, and Jebusites. These ancient remnants offer profound insights and spiritual inspiration that transcends the darker chapters of biblical texts, history, and its post-history.